Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and this is technically gonna be the final thing that has to do with the Star Trek marathon. So I'm gonna be ranking all 13 Star Trek films plus one film. If you guys saw the review yesterday, you guys probably know what it is. Um, but uh, so yeah, there's a lot that I'm gonna talk about. Um. Yes, and there's gonna be a little bit of inconsistencies with the TNG collection, since this has four films, and I have to keep on putting it more and more down the list so that I can, talk about the respective films instead of just sending it on one place. But without further ado, we're gonna start off with the ranking. So at number 13, which is probably gonna be uh everyone probably knows this, but at number 13, in my personal opinion, okay, before we start, I want to say this is just my opinions. Even though I most likely everyone's going to agree with this, there are some pickings that may not go down with certain people. So I want to make that very clear that this is my personal opinions. This is subjective, not objective. Um, so yeah, I just want to make that very clear. So um, And plus, honestly, most of these are actually kind of good. There's honestly like actual good moments about these films, unlike some other films that I reviewed, like Jaws: The Revenge, where nothing about it is good and it's just a waste of time to watch. Um, but anyways, so let's get started. So, at number 13 is Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, I've already talked to death about why I don't like this film. And if you want to know my opinions why, go and check out the review itself for more in-depth knowledge of why I put these films in their respective rankings. Just go and watch the separate reviews. Um, but yeah, I just think this film is the weakest, just honestly because it doesn't really feel like a Star Trek movie. It just sounds like it literally just is like they just try to put everything that was good about Star Trek 2 and trying to make it more modern, and um, I just don't really like it. And this is honest. One thing I did forget to mention in the review itself is that this is another city that gets destroyed. Um, so that's kind of just a generic thing. Um, so yeah, that's number 13. At number 12 is Star Trek Insurrection. Um, I'm just gonna admit it. This is the worst one out of the TNG movies, but there's still a few moments I actually like in this movie. It's just a boring mess of a film. But I'd rather watch Insurrection over Into Darkness, because with Into Darkness, I just wanted to shut it off ever since I started it. Or like when I start the movie, I just want it to be done. This film, I'll actually sit through and be like, okay, granted, it's not really a good movie, but I could sit through it and watch it. So that's why I put this above Into Darkness. Um, Next up is Star Trek. Actually, at number 11 is Star Trek 5: The Final Frontier. Now, this film is way more enjoyable to watch than Insurrection, but I won't lie that saying that this is a bad movie. No doubt about it. Um, and But there are some really good moments in this movie, and that puts this film slightly above um, Star Trek Insurrection for me, because honestly, that film there's only like one or two moments that I actually like, but I'll actually sit through the movie and watch it. This film there's a multiple different good scenes I actually like in the film that is worth watching for, and this is like I believe one of the shortest Star Trek movies, so I mean, it's a good film to just like if you just want to watch a good kind of a funny Star Trek movie to on like a regular Sunday afternoon. This is the kind of film that I would recommend. Um, so at number 10, we have Star Trek, the motion picture. Um, Now, I'm going to make this very clear with this one, since this is kind of like the first one that kind of has alternate versions. Will I be discussing the alternate versions in the ranking videos? No, I won't. Because honestly, they're just slight improvements or no improvements over the actual version of the film that we got. So I'm just gonna rank them as the theatrical cuts. No director's cuts, no special editions, something like that. Um, but yeah, this film is very, very long. Great visual effects to watch. It's just a very long film to get through, and to be completely honest, I probably won't watch this unless it's I'm watching all of the Star Trek movies. So at number 9 we have Star Trek Nemesis. Now, um, I put this over some of the previous films like Motion Picture and Final Frontier because honestly, I liked this film when I first watched it, but now as I get older, I realize that it's not a very I mean, I still think it's a pretty average film, but I'm starting to notice a lot more problems with the film as I get older. But it's still it's still an enjoyable. I would still watch it all the way through a couple more times. And in seventh place is Star Trek Generations. So I put this over slightly above Nemesis because this one I would actually it's enjoyable to watch, but man, there's a crap ton of plot holes in this movie, and um, man, it's not like a movie where the plot holes are gonna make the film unwatchable, but it's like it's hard to not notice them, and um, it's still a very enjoyable film to watch, and I mean, this has the last appearance of Captain Kirk, and he's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy to hang around with. Um, and they all just crumbled in front of me. Um, Now this one I'm kind of having a tie on because I don't know which one is better or worse. I mean, they're both really good movies, but I don't know which one to put above the others. So, I guess let's see what place. Um, So in seventh place, I think, I have a tie between Star Trek 2009 and Galaxy Quest. They're both very enjoyable films. I probably would put 2000 Star Trek 2009 over Galaxy Quest, but I would probably put them around in the same area. Um, so yeah, that would work. So yeah, technically this is 13, but I guess adding one more film it's 14. But if they're both in the same place, would it be counted as 13? Yeah, so 13 plus 1. So, yeah, so I'm going to put them both in the same place. So, for number 7, we have both Star Trek 2009 and Galaxy Quest. And at number 6, we have Star Trek Beyond. Now, this is my personal favorite out of the Kelvin Timeline films, and I just feel like it's a nice kind of cap off to the Beyond crew as of now, because obviously we don't know whether we're gonna have a fourth Kelvin timeline film, um, but it's gonna be very hard to move on without Anton Yelchin, since he did unfortunately pass away, and it has been confirmed that both Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth are not returning for the fourth film, so it's kind of unfortunate. Um, but uh, as it stands, Star Trek Beyond is a very fun popcorn flick. To if you want to watch an actual Star Trek movie on like an actual Sunday morning, this is the film to watch. Because this is a perfect film to watch when you're not trying to worry about anything else. Um, At number 5, we have Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home. Um, this is the one that's like probably the most different to all of the Star Trek movies because this is basically a comedy. Compared to, I mean, yeah, like the other ones had like some of them had comedy moments in them, but none of them were actually kind of like a full on like kind of comedy film. Um, Not to say that this is a bad film. It obviously it's number 5. It's pretty high up on the list. Um, but as it stands, it's radically different from any of the other films before and after this, and that's why I love it so much. But uh, it's really different, but that's why most people enjoy it, and that's why it was very successful when it first came out. In number 4, we have Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock. I put this slightly above number 4 because honestly, I enjoy this film a lot more than Star Trek 4 because this is honestly, in my opinion, the better film because it's for me it's more like a Star Trek movie than more than The Voyage Home. Even though The Voyage Home did have some elements that were, you know, like Star Trek like things like time travel and that sort of stuff. This one had this one continued the plot from Star Trek 2 and um they took some risk in this film. Not They destroyed the Enterprise, which has been a thing for about 20 years by this point, and they also killed Kirk's son David. So that's like taking some serious balls with this movie. Um, but that's why I love it so much. So yeah. So number 4 is Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock. Number 3 is Star Trek 6: The Undiscovered Country. Now, I love this movie. I think most people do. Let's be completely honest, but um, who can really? I mean, if you put this on number 1, it's fine, but like, you gotta at least acknowledge that there are some problems with this movie. Not major, but small problems. But that does not at all affect the quality and like fantastic film that this film is. And you have Christopher Plummer as Devon, who overacts like every scene that he's in, and it's freaking hilarious. At number 2, we have Star Trek: First Contact. Now, this is the best TNG film, and I think everyone can agree on it. It takes stuff from the show and expands on it a lot more. Um, but I think that's why everyone loves it so much. But like I said, like if you guys want to see all the points I'm making in on each of these films, go and check the reviews because you know they are they're more fleshed out in the videos themselves. But yeah, best TNG film, and it's unfortunate that kind of the one before this and the ones after this never came up to the same quality as First Contact. And finally, for number 1, I think we all know what number 1 is. So it's the only one that I haven't mentioned. Of course, that is Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan. I could not put this at any other place except for first, because this is the perfect Star Trek movie, and this is one of my favorite films of all time. If I had to be completely honest, everything about this film is pitch perfect, and I'm surprised if anyone does not say that this is at least in their top 5 favorite Star Trek movies, unless you're an absolute madman. But this film is like the most perfect Star Trek movie, and if you haven't watched this film, what are you doing? Go and pick out either this, actually no, because this is the most recent version of the film itself. So track down a copy of this film, buy it, and watch it. Really, it doesn't matter which version you watch; it's still a masterpiece of film, and I think everyone should watch this movie at some point. So, yeah, guys. So that was. Let me get them all straight here. So yeah, guys, that was my ranking of all the Star Trek movies plus Galaxy Quest. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I have a little announcement to make. Well, not really an announcement, but if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you guys will find a video that I made about um, uh, what you guys want me to do for the next series of films. Cause I already have a lineup of individual movies I want to do. But you guys pick out what franchise should I do next that is currently in my collection. So you guys have to go back, watch the most recent Blu-ray collection video, come back to the Instagram post, and make a comment about which series of films that you want me to make a video on, movie reviews on, and I will do that. Um, so yeah, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this last part of the Star Trek marathon. Technically, um, and hope you guys enjoyed. And stay tuned for the next movie review where I'm gonna be talking about. I'm had to still have to figure that out. But hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next movie review. Live long and prosper. Out.